What's up, YouTube? It's Biblical Truther. I just want to apologize to all these people that I've been offending over the last few videos. Was not my intention, but what I want to talk about today is what I have in the title, 3 years equals 3 days. And let me explain my thought process on that, because my wife just sent me this screenshot from Twitter. I think it was, I don't remember what news source it was, but you can see it here in just a second. Look at this. So it's the Gateway Pundit. Huge. Steve Bannon also calls for President Trump for Speaker. Reliable source says President Trump would do it. Momentum. Steve Bannon also calls for President Trump for Speaker. Also calls. So who else? How many of these people are calling for this to happen? Now, I had just recently brought up a video I made months ago that was taken off of YouTube and was put on Bitchute. And I don't even remember what I was really talking about in that video for me to bring it up, but I think I was mentioning this very thing, that Trump could very well become the Speaker of the House, and by default, after this Supreme Court case goes through about treason and removing the president, that he will become president. So is it a coincidence that this is all being put in the mainstream on January 5th? And since they've had so many votes, would it be crazy to think that on January 6th, the infamous date of 2021, tomorrow actually, that they will announce that he is Speaker? He has been voted in. And I think my wife has told me that there's been many news reports of even some of the Democrats that might even back him as Speaker. So I think I'm pretty good at pattern recognition, and it seems as though there's a pattern here. So we know what happened on January 6th. We know that this man did not help those people whatsoever. But there was something that happened last January 6th. And then would it be crazy that tomorrow, January 6th, that he will be announced as Speaker of the House? And you know what this is going to start, right? It may not be an all-out WAR, but it could very well cause a conflict in a civil one. But it's not going to be, as I've said many times in the past, it's not going to be North versus South as it was back then. It's going to be a political Democrat versus Republican. So I'm trying to find a way to say all this without offending people, because whether you think I care or not, I do care about people's feelings, and I know some of the things I talk about can trigger them, but think about this, and I'll link that video that I had to put up on Bitchute in the description. But we all know that Biden hasn't been running this country. There's somebody else who's sitting in his basement in his PJs, as he said in an interview, with an earpiece on, calling the shots. So the thumbnail I made for that video was Captain America, of course, is the big old T-Man, and Iron Man, which is, Hussein, Obama. And everybody knows, and everybody, a lot of people believe that he is the AC. But would it be crazy if they announced that on January 6th? And anything that comes up as far as, oppressing the people, would it be crazy to think that the House would shut it down? But then everything that they have planned as far as, fooling the people with all this garbage, this script that they're going from, would it be crazy to think that Biden would have to do all these executive orders, which is then going to cause problems between the two parties, which is also for the people who still live in that paradigm, like there really is a two-party system in this country. They're going to start, fighting with each other. And that's crazy, because we've already seen with all the protests in the past how people will react over political matters, right? So would it be crazy to think that all these conflicts are going to arise over the next year, and we've already been told that the Fed has passed this cryptocurrency, this Fed coin? And would it be crazy to think that if this all plays out, and Trump becomes the speaker, and this court case that's going to the Supreme Court passes, would it be crazy to think that all these people who fell away from Trump would all of a sudden jump back on his, coattail when he frees us from this oppression that's coming from the Democratic Party, right? So a lot of people that have fell away from him will all of a sudden be back on the train. And then would it be crazy to think that next January 6th will be the day this all happens? I mean, the pattern here is undeniable, but I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I just pointing out the pattern. It's kind of crazy that this is coming up right now on this particular day, right? And they're talking craziness about the House of Representatives not being able to pass this vote, that they can't go on not having a speaker. So is it far-fetched to think that it might be voted on and settled tomorrow with him being the speaker? So I'm just trying to point out the script that I see being read here, the play that they're putting on for the masses. And another thing about the title of this video is it would be exactly 3 years to the day that he would become president again. Which is also funny because, everyone's equating him to Christ. He's the savior of America, right? I told you guys yesterday about the whole poll about 50% of Christians, and I don't know if it's true, but it was a real poll. 50% of Christians think that Trump is the second coming. So, as far as the book of Revelation and the Antichrist is concerned, he loses his power, the head's cut off, and in 3 days or 3 years, he is resurrected back into that power. Because the Bible is, for the most part, metaphorical, but there is a whole lot of factual information in there. But again, I've said in the past that these people, these rulers, it has been said by ex-CIA officials that they are using this book as their playbook. So that's it's crazy to think about, but I find it highly suspicious that they're releasing this information because he's not even been talked about until today. And then tomorrow, he's going to, in my opinion, be elected in. And if it happens, that's just crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. So if it does happen, man, we need to buckle up of the crazies who live in this paradigm of a two-party system and how crazy they're fixing to get. Because you remember when Trump was first elected, you had all these senators, mainly Maxine Waters and a few others going around talking, basically telling people to attack the other party members or people who believe in this stuff. So is it far-fetched to say that this conflict is not far off? But if this is all true, and I'm not saying it is, I'm just speculating here. These are just my thoughts and what I'm seeing unfold. Just speculating that if we did have a conflict like that, if they were burning buildings down again, and that people were fighting in the street behind this two-party system, and then he cleans up all these people that's been talked about since the whole 17th letter of the alphabet came about. And one thing that I find crazy is that it's already been put into those people who believe in the whole 17th letter thing. It was already put out a few months back, if not a year or so, that this could be a possibility. And now all of a sudden it's a possibility. So it's already placed in the subconscious for this to happen. So I'm saying all this to just, kind of give you guys a heads up to just keep watch, man. Because if this plays out as I see it happening, and many other people contemplate it could happen, wouldn't it be crazy for it to happen on the 6th of January next year? That would give him a full year. That would give us a full year for these people to rile everybody up. And then for, the 17th letter whole, taking all these people out and the secret indictments and all this garbage that they've been feeding everybody that hasn't happened yet to all of a sudden happen. All these people that are treasonous to this country get rounded up. But make no mistake, they won't be put to death. They will not. They will be on their little island along with all these other people that have come and gone, saying they have been taken care of by this secret group of the 17th letter. So I just wanted to put this up, man, because it kind of blew my mind when she sent it to me, because I have mentioned this many times before that I speculated that this would happen. And lo and behold, here it is. And one of the main concrete, things that brought me to this conclusion of this pattern that's happening is the fact that it was put into all their subconscious, prior. Just as I said yesterday, they get out in front of these things before they do it. So you're primed and ready. We all know about how predictive programming works. But I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it will happen. Nobody's told me this. I haven't heard it in my spirit. Nothing like that. I just find it funny and too coincidental for this to happen on this particular day. And we'll see tomorrow if it happens. It would just be like mind-blowing. Like they forecast what they're gonna do long before they do it, and I hope some of the things I speak about, like this video right here, will help others to start recognizing these patterns. So just keep watch, man. Keep watch. And as far as my video on Bitchute, the thumbnail I used with the T-Man as Captain America, he equated himself to Captain America. There was memes all over the place as Captain America. So that too has been predictively programmed into people's psyche. Just like the other guy, the 44th president, he's equated himself to Iron Man in more than one speech. And we just had the movie, and I've referenced it when I've talked about this in the past, about, what was it? Whatever the Marvel thing is, Civil War, that's what the movie was called. And who'd they have on the cover? Captain America, Iron Man. So just keep watch, man. If this thing goes through tomorrow, even if they wait till the 17th and announce it, I'm just throwing this out there because I find it crazy that they mentioned this today, the day before the big date of the insurrection, which is going to bring about the resurrection. So just wanted to mention this, man. It's just crazy how these things line up, and how they think we are so ignorant to what they're doing. I'm gonna let that go with that, man. I love you guys.
Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints,